Hi, I'm Blake Harner from Alton, Illinois. This is my 1977 Chevy van. It's a factory conversion by Gearing, and this is how it was sold brand new off the dealership lot. Paint job, everything is all original, the 77, and I bought it from the original owner 2 years ago. He bought it brand new in the Chicago area, and just loved this van. He bought it, he finished pharmacy school, went down to the dealership, picked this out. He said it cost about the same as a new Corvette, and there was a line of them on the dealer lot, probably 3 or 4, and his girlfriend jumped in, laid down, and said, "I want this one," and he went inside and made the deal with the guy selling it. So he had it for 39 years and retired, and they were moving to Florida and didn't have anywhere to park it. So it was with some regret that he had to get rid of it, and I was lucky enough to find it and go up and buy it from him. Everything is original, and this is actually paint. Sometimes people think it's decals, and I can see why, but that is actually an original tape that was there, laid down by the original designer at Gearing. And he actually even signed his name on the side, right there. And just through a little internet sleuthing, I was able to find his family. He's passed, but they confirmed it. He was 22 when he painted it. And he painted for Gearing and Grand Systems in Elkhart, Indiana. And they just kind of often freehanded and did a design of their choice, some with murals, some without. And I was fortunate. The family was excited to see that the van still existed. Something that he painted rather, and they sent me a ton of photos that show other painting that he did. So it was really neat to see someone's mind, and this just happens to be one of the things he did. But these are original. The HeadRest model was, there were basically 2 models that Gearing offered. HeadRest was probably a little more tame, but still fun, and then they had a wilder version called the Streaker, and that had the mirrored ceilings and a little bit wilder interior, but this one's a little bit more kind of camper friendly, but still has some of that last gasp of custom vibe as the 70s moved into the 80s. So yeah, so everything on it has gotten through the years without getting too scuffed up. A couple of bangs and bruises here and there, but the chrome's original, the grill's original. The sunroof did come on it when it was new. And it's hanging in there as well. It's a 350 Chevy. He had air conditioning added at the dealership, which is still working. It's still blowing cold. And most all of it is really unchanged. Even the carpeting is factory original. And the ceiling is kind of an unusual, I don't know what you'd call that, like a plywood type, but that is original to it. The upholstery is held in there as well. I'm pretty amazed. I really hope it doesn't rip because I don't know where I'll find more fabric. So, but this layout, the different layouts that they did were astrological signs. So there would be like Leo, Scorpio, etc. This is the Leo floor plan, and that gave you like a sidebar, and then the love seat turns into a bed. So you can put the table down underneath it, fold it down to a bed, and you're ready to camp. So, which I've done, and it's not too bad.
Nice, love the seats.
Yeah, seats, fortunately they do rotate, and that curtain actually pulls all the way around the front, so you can get some privacy and still use the front seats. And it's got 75,000 miles on it now. It had 70,000 when I bought it. And it's been running really well. It cruises down the road just like you'd hope. So, but the gentleman that owned it, they took it all over the country. His wife and 2 boys, they went fishing in Canada. They used it as a vacation vehicle and just enjoyed it for most of its life.
Have the material on it, nice.
Yeah, it's matching as well, and he did do a Z-bar on it when it was new, which I think You know, I don't know whether or not that is what saved it, but there's not a spot of rust on it, and they just drill. You can see them up even in the above the windshield. They just drill the holes and all over the place and sprayed it in. And it's far from perfect, but it's really held in there. These are Western Cyclone 2s, and running 8.5s on the back, 7s in the front, and yeah, the turbine look is the look for me when it comes to the 70s. But yeah, it's got a little panel you can put up to hide stuff, but just the storage there isn't much to it, but you can throw a lawn chair under there, and it does have the cooler up there, which I've got drinks in now, so keeps them pretty cold. And the cabinetry up above it is actually a wine bar or wine rack, and you can keep anything you choose in there. And the overhead is actually controls some of the lighting, so this will kick on the back light and run it through. It's really neat when you see other ones that were built. When they do come along, it's just awesome to see some of the little touches, whether it's the rope trim or the old bottle lucite glass, or some of these old fixtures. I would give anything to be able to walk into a shop these days and just buy these fixtures and these parts.
Yeah.
And
Wouldn't it be nice?
they're hard to find.